Namaste. It's Jacci, and we're going to do a little bit of yoga together today. So get what you need for your practice. If you have a mat, you can lie it out on the floor. And when you stretch your mat out, it's nice to have space all the way back behind you so you have enough room to stretch your arms all the way up over your head. And then if you just give yourself a little bit of time. So we'll be doing this for about the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So, close the door, turn off your phones and things, and just give yourself a little time to care for your body today. So we're going to begin our practice on hands and knees. I usually suggest that we pad the knees, so if you have a towel or a blanket or something to pad your knees, that can be nice. So as you're ready, you can come down to all fours. I'm going to put a little blanket under my knees. We're going to begin in the tabletop position. And in this position, we'll have the hands right under the shoulders and the hips right over the knees. Spread your fingers. Having the hands slightly wider than the shoulders can be quite nice. And we're going to start to breathe through our nose. So on the inhale, breathe through your nose, lift your chest. On the exhale, breathe through your nose, pull your belly in. You start to feel your back round, and then we're going to fold back to child's pose, letting the elbows touch down and the hips fold back, bow the head, and then glide back up to all fours on the inhale, lift your chest. So we're going to breathe slowly and move slowly. Exhale back, touching the elbows down, sinking the hips back, and gliding back up on the inhale, lift the chest and the eyes. Let's do that once more. What are you noticing in your back as you go back? Your hips, your shoulders. Glide up on your inhale. And then please pause and take your right knee back about maybe 3 inches, or maybe the length of your thumb. So more just makes this awkward, so just a little bit back. Inhale, lift your chest, and then go back the same. Exhale back and see what you notice down the right side. You may just feel a bit of lengthening down the right side. And then glide back up on your inhale, lift your chest and eyes. And do the same on the exhale. Go back, and this time as your hips go back, maybe you walk your hands forward a little bit. And then inhale back up. Sorry, just the right hand forward. Yeah, so we're stretching out the right side. So exhale back, and again, the right hand forward, and just hold back. And again, inching the right hand forward or across to the middle of the mat. Come up onto your fingertips if you like. Breathe. And then glide back up to all fours and even up your hands and even up your knees. We'll do one with everything even. So inhale, lift the chest and eyes. Exhale, fold back, belly in. Inhale up to all fours, and then take your left knee back. Again, just 3 inches or so, maybe the length of your thumb. Round your back as you exhale, fold back. What do you notice down the left side? And then gliding back up on your inhale, lift your chest. And this time as you exhale back, let the left hand move forward a couple of inches. And we're just opening up the left side. Inhale up to all fours. Lift the chest, and we'll go back and hold that. So exhale back, walking the left hand forward, or even over toward the middle, and just see what you feel. Breathe. And then inhale back to all fours, even up your hands and your knees. And one more time, back to child's pose. And then inhale up to all fours. So please walk your hands in toward your body and come up to stand on your knees. So for this next movement, you're welcome to have your toes tucked under, or you can have your feet flat, whichever you like. Make sure that the knees are comfortable so you can add some padding there. And on the inhale, we're going to lift the arms up over the head and lift the eyes and open up the chest here. And on the exhale, lower your hands, pull your belly in, lower your eyes. And a couple more slow breaths through the nose. So inhale, rise up. And exhale, go down. Just noticing, again, the sides of the body. Inhale up. Exhale, come down. And then take your hands to the floor And we're going to push up to downward dog. After that little back bend, nice to stretch out the low back. So tuck your toes under, push your hips up, come to downward dog, pedal out your legs. How does that feel? Hips, and again, also the sides of the body. So if you want to stretch your back and your sides, having the knees a little soft, pushing down through the hands, lifting up through the hips, all of that can be helpful. Breathe. And then please come to your knees again, inhale down. And we're going to do a little sequence where we're going to combine the dog pose, the child's pose, where we folded back, and this movement where we came up onto our knees and lifted the arms. This is called lightning pose. So please exhale, come to your tabletop position. I'll talk about the breath as we move. So inhale, lift your chest and eyes. So exhale, pull your belly in, fold back to child's pose. Inhale, glide up to tabletop, lift your chest and eyes. And then tuck your toes under, pull your belly in and up to downward facing dog, slowly up. And then let the inhale bring you back down, lift your chest and eyes. Pull your belly in as you exhale back to child's pose. You can untuck the toes. And now lift up to the sky. Lift your arms, your chest up to the sky, lightning pose. And exhale all the way back down to child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. So here we're starting the sequence over. Exhale back to child's pose. Feel that stretch down your back. Inhale, tabletop, and then tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to your knees, lift your chest and eyes. Exhale back to child's pose, and once more we'll rise up to the sky. So lightning pose as you inhale up. Exhale all the way down to child's pose. Inhale up to tabletop. And we'll start again. So exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop, and tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to your knees, lift your chest and eyes. Exhale back to child's pose, and one more time, up to lightning pose. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Exhale all the way back down to child's pose. And you might like just staying in child's pose. So you could kind of stack up your hands and rock. You could put your block under your forehead. This is a nice technique. If you are a fan of downward dog, if that's a really nice pose for you, instead of child's pose, you could come up to dog pose and hold the downward dog. So see what you like. Just a smooth breath wherever you are. And then from wherever you are, come to your hands and knees. So if you were in down dog, you can come down. If you're in child's pose, you can come up. And please take your left leg back behind you and let the toes of that foot touch the floor. And then we're going to inhale the right arm open and out to the side and up toward the sky, maybe even look up. And on your exhale, lower your arm all the way back down to touch the floor. And as if the inhale brings your arm up, lift up again. And exhale all the way down. And the next one we're going to hold for a couple of breaths at the top. So inhale, open. Hold on the exhale. Pull your belly in. Inhale, open more. Straighten that back leg more. And when you exhale down, take your arm out in front of you. And lengthen here, maybe even lifting that left foot off the floor. Hold, exhale. Hold, inhale. And then exhale everything down to the floor and fold back. And then inhale up to all fours. So I'm just going to turn around so I'll be facing you when we do the movement on the other side. So right leg back, please. Right leg back. So we're going to be moving the left arm. So inhale, left arm out to the side and up. Exhale all the way down, belly in. Inhale, open. Exhale down, belly in. The next one we'll hold. So inhale, open. Exhale, hold. Inhale, open. And then exhale, lower your arm down and stretch it out in front of you, eyes down on the mat. And then inhale, see if you can lift your right foot again. Hold, exhale. Hold, inhale. And then come on down to the floor. Exhale back. Maybe it's nice to shake out your wrists a little bit. Inhale up to all fours and then put your elbows down on the floor. So this is a nice way to massage the wrists. This is puppy pose. So if you like, you can let your hips sway side to side. If you want to massage your wrists, you can. And another way you can do this pose is to take the arms further forward. So if you take your arms out in front of you, nice big opening in the shoulders, low back. So for some people, this is way too much in the shoulders. It's fine if you're on your elbows. That's also a nice version. And then please come up to your hands. We're going to push through downward dog and make our way up to standing. So tuck your toes under, make your way up to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here, see what you feel. Move your legs if you like. And then please come up to standing. You can move your padding out of the way if you were using that padding under your knees. And once you're standing, you can give everything a little shake. Shake your hands and feet. Good. And then stand nice and tall. So this is mountain pose or Tadasana. Feet are under your hips and the chest is lifted and maybe even the palms are open. This helps to cultivate that open feeling in the front of the chest. Feel that steadiness of your feet on the floor. And then we're going to inhale the arms out to the side and up over the head. And as you let your arms go up, also lift your heels up off of the floor. A little quivering balance pose. And then exhale down, letting your hands touch your legs and your heels touch the floor right at the same time. So the heels come down slowly. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift. Feel that quivering in your legs. Exhale down. This time, inhale, lift. And on the exhale, we're going to lower halfway down, bending the elbows, lowering the heels a little bit. And a smooth in-breath to float back up. Lift up any amount that you can. Good. And then exhale all the way down, letting your heels touch the floor as your hands come to touch your legs. Okay, so we're going to stay up a few more repetitions this time. We're going to add that halfway down on the exhale and a turn when we exhale. So I'll show you as you go along. So inhale up, lifting your arms and your heels. So as you exhale, bend your elbows like we did, but turn your head, your shoulders, your chest to one side. Maybe even look over your back hand. And then inhale back to the center, keeping your heels off the floor as much as you can. And then exhale, turn the other way, belly in. Inhale, center. We're going to go to each side 2 more times. So exhale. Again, the legs are kind of quivering the whole time. Inhale. It's fine, of course, if your heels touch down. Exhale, turn. You just try to keep them up. A little balance. Inhale, big breath to the center. Once more to each side. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. And then one more. Exhale, facing the center. Last inhale, reach up any amount. And then all the way down. You can lower your hands, you can lower your arms. And it may feel nice to give your feet a little shake, maybe even shaking your hands. You feel those sensations in your shoulders. And then after that movement, we're going to do a little forward fold because that has a little back bend quality like that movement we did on the floor. So we're going to step the feet out about hip width apart. And I'm going to turn to the side so you'll be able to see my back here. So step your feet out. If I'm here, I'm going to just step my feet to the edges of my mat, so a little wider than your hips. Bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhale. On the exhale, pull your belly in and bow forward by almost like a squat. You're going to bend the knees and bow. So you might just go down halfway. Otherwise, you might let your head just hang all the way down. And then on the inhale, slide your hands up first. Begin to let your chest lift so when you come up, you have a nice long spine. So for some people, going all the way down makes them dizzy or it's awkward. So you can go halfway down if you like. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale down a little or all the way down with your head. Hands up first to your hips. Begin to lift the chest. Come up with a long spine. And again, exhale down, belly in. And slowly back up on your inhale. Good. And then step your feet back in. Give everything a little jiggle. And we're going to do some movement now in the warrior one position. So for this pose, if you have your joints stacked up, the hips over the knees, it's almost like your feet are, if you think about the yellow stripes on the road, like your feet are on those yellow stripes. So I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to step the right foot forward, so it's like in line with your right hip on the right stripe, and the left foot back, so it's in line with your left hip. It's on the left stripe. And then when you bend your knee on the inhale, we want to this is a test bend. We want to make sure that knee is in a good, safe position, right over the heel, straight in front of your hip. And then exhale, straighten your leg, touch your belly. Get that hugging in feeling. Just do one more test bend. If you want more bend in your knee, you can step your foot wider. And exhale, touch. And we're going to do a movement with the back leg arm, the left arm. So I'm going to let my right hand rest on my back. And on the inhale, as the front knee bends, I'm going to lift the left arm over my head and open up that left side. And then exhale, straighten your leg, lower your arm, belly in. And again, front knee bends, left arm lifts. Exhale down. So a couple more to explore the left side. So inhale, bend the front knee any amount, lift your left arm. You may find it's helpful to just look forward with your eyes. If it bothers your neck, to look up. Exhale. And make sure your neck is comfortable. One more time, we're going to hold at the top this time. So inhale, lift your arm up. And on your exhale, lean to the right a little bit. Kind of keep your knee even with your hip. And then inhale back to the center. So pull the belly in, exhale to the right. Inhale, center. One more. Now inhale, center, and on the exhale, lower your arm down. Some of you may like doing downward dog. So you could bring your hands to the floor, step on back to downward dog pose, or if you prefer, you can just come up to standing. Do the little shake of your feet. And if you're standing, we're going to do that forward fold we just did. So downward dog is also a forward fold. So either way, feet a little wide if you're going to do the forward fold with me. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your knees. And again, you can go halfway down, or you can let your head hang all the way down. And then inhale back up with a nice long spine. So if you're standing with me, we'll do that one more time. Exhale down. Hands up to your hips and then come up. If you were in downward dog, go ahead and come on up to standing. Step your feet back in and pause in your mountain pose for a couple of breaths. Just noticing the two sides. All right, and then we'll do that sequence on the other side. So I'm going to turn around so you'll see my left side. As if we're standing on those stripes on the road, we're going to step the left foot forward, so it's in line with your left hip. Right foot back, so it's in line with your right hip. And then a test bend in your front knee. So when you bend the knee, you want it to be over the heel, a little bit behind the heel. So if your knee goes way out over your toes, it's just not good for your ankle or your knee. So much more stability with the joints stacked up. Straighten your leg, touch your belly. Now this side we'll be moving the right arm. So I'm just going to put my left hand on my low back. Inhale, bend the front knee and let your right arm sweep up. See where it's comfortable to move your neck. So you might look up, you might not. Exhale, straighten your leg, lower your arm. Inhale, bend your knee, lengthen up. Exhale, lower your arm, pull your belly in, soften your eyes down. So one more as we move and get to build some fluidity, mobility in the joints. Exhale, and the next one we'll hold at the top. So inhale, when we stay, we get to build strength. So exhale, belly in, lean to the left a little bit. And then inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center. So one more. What are you noticing down the right side? Inhale, center. Lower that arm down. So we're all going to do downward dog this time. So if you can step right back into dog pose, you can. Otherwise, we'll just take a moment to come back down to hands and knees. You're welcome to put the padding back under your knees. Spread your fingers wide. Push up to dog pose. Pedal out your legs. See what you feel. Bending the knees can be a nice way to stretch. Do you notice any difference in the two sides now? We did that little side bend to the left and the right. So feel free to hold this pose longer if you like the pose. It's a nice pose. Otherwise, we're going to come down, and for the next part, we're going to lie down on our back. So as you're ready, you can come to your back and lie down. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, we're going to be lifting the arms over our head. So take a moment to see that you have room behind you to stretch your arms all the way up over your head. And then just bring them down and rest for a moment. So just get a sense of how it feels to be on the floor. So start with your knees bent. So thinking about the sides of the body and just having your knees bent comfortably, moving with your breath. Inhale both arms up over your head. Feel the side body lengthen. And exhale, lower your arms down. And as the arms lower down, as we pull the belly in here, you can think about kind of pushing your low back toward the floor. It's a nice way to find that muscular engagement. Inhale up. You can soften the belly here as you reach up. Exhale down, belly in. So just noticing how that feels in your shoulders. We'll do one more. Inhale up. And exhale down. All right, and then we're going to do a little twisting movement. So please walk your feet all the way out to the edges of your mat. So the feet are wider than your hips. And the movement on the exhale, we're going to let both knees fall to one side. It's called windshield wipers. So as your knees go to one side, turn your head the opposite way. And then on the inhale, as your knees come back to the center, roll your head to the center, and then exhale, head one way, knees the other. And inhale back up. So just exploring the movement, see how that feels for your neck. Maybe you like turning your head, and maybe you don't. It's fine if you don't turn the head. Inhale up. And then maybe you notice that your knees go maybe not very far to one side. Just see what's good for you. Inhale up. So the next time that your knees go to the right side, both knees to the right, we're going to hold that. So if you have a blanket, a block, a support, you could, so what we want is that we feel the stretch in the muscles. So on this side, it'll be mostly down the left side, left hip, left quadriceps. If you're feeling it in your knee or your hip, you might use support under the legs. So under the outside right leg, under the inside left knee. So you can put support there if you need it. And then just take some breaths, beginning to bring your attention to that left side. So if you remember a moment ago, we stretched the arms up over the head. So if you like, you can let your left arm stretch over your head and see how that feels. Take some deeper breath. And just exploring the sides of the body today. If you like this, it feels good, pretty good for you, it's not hurting your back, you could take your right foot and put it up on top of your left, or your right ankle on top of your left thigh, which will increase that stretch a bit. It shouldn't hurt, though, so if it feels bad for your back or your knees, don't do it. For some people, it's really nice, and for some people, it's just really not good. All right, when you get to an inhale, release that side. Lower your foot down, lower your arm down, and please bring your knees to the center and pause. So even up your hips, even up your shoulders. Take a breath. Notice the two sides. Make sure the feet are still wide, and then we're going to go to the other side, to the left with both knees, and hold that side. So now we're going to be exploring the right side. So again, you're welcome to put some support under the outside of the left leg or inside of the right. Begin to notice what you feel, right hip, right leg, and maybe you stretch your right arm just out to the side or back up over your head so you can notice how that feels. If you like, you can take your left ankle and put it up on top of your right leg. Maybe that's good for you, maybe it's not so good, so see what feels good. First rule of yoga is no pain, so we don't want to irritate, cause any harm. So when you get to your next inhale, release your foot down and your arm down. As your knees come up, pause again and even up the two sides. And draw your knees up into your chest and massage your back a little bit. So I'm going to do a series of symmetrical movements after our twist. I'm going to even out the back and the spine. So inhale and straighten your legs toward the ceiling with the heels pushing up and the toes spread wide. And on your exhale, bend your knees. And do that again, legs up toward the ceiling. See what you feel in the backs of the legs here. And exhale, bend. And then we're going to add the arm movement. So on the inhale, lift your legs toward the ceiling and your arms up over your head to the floor behind you. And on your exhale, bend your knees, lower your arms down, belly in. And do that again. Inhale up. And exhale down. The next one we're going to lift up and hold. So lift up any amount with your legs and take your arms up behind you wherever they'll go. And when you exhale and hold, soften the knees, soften the elbows, pull your belly in. And as you inhale, lengthen back out. Push through your heels, lengthen your arms. And again, exhale, soft knees, soft elbows. And then lengthen on your inhale. And one more, exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale as you lower the arms, bend your knees. And then please let your feet come to the floor one at a time. And then we're going to do the bridge pose. So again, this is a nice symmetrical movement to do after a twist. So we'll have the hands palms down by our sides and the heels lined up with your hip bones. And the knees are bent quite a lot, as close as you can get them, depending on your knees. So let your neck be even. Don't just let your eyes turn straight up. And then on your inhale, push through your heels and lift your hips up toward the ceiling. And then exhale down. Almost said your hips up over your head. Don't do that. So do that again. Inhale. Push through your heels and lift your hips. Exhale down. Try to keep the knees right in line. Don't let them go out to the two sides. Keep them right in line. Lift up on your inhale. And exhale down. Now we're going to add the arm movement to that. So please inhale, lift your hips and both arms over your head. See how that feels. As you exhale, lower your hips and your arms back down. And we're going to repeat that, but we're going to try to explore, again, one more time, the sides of the body. So when you inhale and lift your hips, lift only your right arm. So hips and right arm over your head. Now, see if you can keep the right arm up over your head and exhale your hips back down. Pull your belly in. Get that nice lengthening feeling down your right side. And then a slow inhale, push your hips back up, lengthen your right arm. And again, keep your right arm over your head, exhale down. One more, hips up, lengthen your right arm. And then as you exhale down, lower your arm too. When you get to the floor, pause for one breath and notice the two sides. See if you have some awareness of your right side. And then we're going to do that with the left arm. So please inhale, lift your hips and your left arm over your head. Now see if you can keep your left arm up there on the floor over your head and exhale your hips back down, hugging in the belly as you touch your hips down. And then inhale, push through the heels, lift your hips up, lengthen the left arm. Exhale down, belly in. One more time. Inhale, reach up as you lift your hips. And this time, bring your arm down too. Exhale everything down. When you get to the floor, pause for one breath. And then we're going to lift the hips and both arms 3 more times. But if you don't like that movement in your shoulders, you can just have your arms down by your sides. So you choose. So inhale, lift your arms and your hips. Again, you're welcome to skip the arms. Smoothly down on the exhale. Remembering to hug in the belly. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. And then if you like, you can come up and hold the pose. So if you want to go up one more time, you can push up with your hips only. Maybe hold the pose for a few breaths, see what you notice. It's fine if you're already down. You can hug your knees into your chest. So if you haven't already come down, please lower down and pull your knees one at a time up into your chest and massage your back. And you can lift your chest. Maybe some people like that. Move your ankles and toes. You can shake your hands and feet, just shaking off all the effort. And then let your feet come to the floor. We'll let the legs rest. So we'll have the knees bent to begin. If it's nicer for you to have your feet a little bit apart and your knees touching, many people find that helpful. Let your hands touch your belly. Soften or close your eyes. So you could just look at one particular spot or you could just close your eyes. Begin to let go of any effort to control your breath. And begin to let your body find rest. So soft shoulders, soft mouth. And as we settle for the relaxation poses, we come to the end of our practice. You should pay a little extra attention to your back, your upper back and shoulders, your low back and hips. So are you comfortable with your knees bent? For many people, that's a good position to just stay with the knees bent. Maybe you like stretching your legs out flat, but we don't want to have discomfort in the back. So if what you notice when you stretch your legs out flat is that your back is uncomfortable, it was better when your knees were bent, just keep your knees bent. So get whatever you need. You can put cushions under your knees, you could put your legs up on the sofa, that's a good technique. And then we'll begin to let go and rest. So give yourself permission to rest for the next 5-10 minutes. And as we come to this part of the practice, I'll say my closing prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we live with ease. So I encourage you to rest again for the next 5-10 minutes, or a minimum of 12 breaths. If you feel like you need to pop right up, try to stay for 12 breaths. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.